In this live stream, I want to share my practice with 3-finger scales. Some of the ideas that I have to improve this technique and why you should definitely give it a try. Well, why would you play with 3 fingers? To play faster and to have more endurance. It's that simple. Now, when we play with more fingers, it's going to sound worse. We are compromising the quality of the sound. We are doing that already when playing with 2 fingers. There's no way we can get 2-finger scale sounding better than 1 finger. Okay, so if you do this, it sounds exactly the same. Same finger, same nail, same weight, same spot on the string. Now when you try to get the same sound with 2 fingers, like let's say, we can try, we can get it close, but it will never be the same. Okay, so we have to accept already we are compromising when playing with 2 fingers. But now, why would we have to play with 2 fingers? Because we need to play faster. With 1 finger, I can do, I don't know, let's see how fast I can play with 1 finger. Let's see. I'm gonna set the metronome to 120 BPM. Let me get this speaker here to get more sound. So this is 120 BPM. So I can do 16 notes. So I can do that with 1 finger. But of course I'm moving the hand, I'm moving other things. But the problem is I would get tired to play with 1 finger. So I would have less endurance. But let's say I'm gonna play at 100 BPM. This metronome doesn't go below 120. But let's say I'm gonna play at 100 BPM and I want to have, or below, and I want to have the best sound possible. Then I would just play with 1 finger. If that's the goal, let's say I'm in a recording studio and I want to have the perfect sound, I'm playing slow and I'm like, I am not gonna be able to get a better sound playing with 2 fingers. But the thing is, because we're changing the note, it's not a big problem. And that's the key. So if you repeat the same note, this is much better than if I do this. If I do this, it's different, but I wouldn't be able to say one is worse than the other. So it's not a big deal. We are compromising, but it's not a big deal, and it is necessary to play faster and to have more endurance. Now the same thing happens when you go from 2 fingers to 3 fingers. It's gonna sound worse. Okay, there's no way around that. So if I do this, I'm accentuating every 2 notes. If I try that with 3 fingers, doesn't sound bad, but it's not better. This is better. The thing is, with 3 fingers we can play faster for longer. So that's the compromise. So for me, If I am playing below 180 BPM, I would never use 3 fingers for that, because I can do that with 2 fingers, when I warm up reliably. For 200 BPM, I'm still gonna try to do that with 2 fingers. It's very hard, especially if you're gonna play a very long scale. It's not easy. But with 3 fingers, it is easy. 200 BPM scales with 3 fingers is actually a piece of cake. I think everyone can do it, because I have never seen a single guitarist. I have never seen a single guitarist that I have. Of course, someone who is just starting, it might be hard, but I mean an experienced guitarist. I have never seen anyone who cannot play faster than 150 BPM, 16 notes, alternating index and middle finger. I have never seen it. If your hands are working normally, this is not a challenge. 150 BPM, 16 notes. Just now, to play at that speed and go across the strings and have endurance, yeah, we have to practice a lot for that, okay? I have to practice for that too. But it is possible. Now, here's the thing. Let's practice this exercise. You play with 2 fingers. Now, every time I play with the index, I'm going to play 3 notes. So I'm gonna do this. So what that means is, if I can play 150 BPM very easily with this, if I play with 3 fingers, that's 200 BPM, and that should be very easy too. So again, this is 150. So that is 200 BPM. Again, we have to practice to get the accent right, to make it sound good, to control it, to go across the strings. But in principle, 200 BPM should be possible for absolutely every single guitarist in the world. And 200 BPM is not a hyper speed that is not musical, and there's no music with that. I mean, music is full of 200 BPM plus scales, especially outside the guitar, because usually classical guitarists don't practice this kind of stuff, because there's like a stigma or something that if you try to play fast, it's like that's not musical or something ridiculous. Okay, this idea that music is the only thing that matters, you should focus on that. Okay, well, play Paco de Lucia music and see if you can focus on that. If you cannot play a scale fast, you cannot play his music. Okay, and that's not the only music that has fast scales. If you go, for example, and try to play some music from Joaquin Rodrigo, or Spanish music in general, that is full of very fast scales. So you cannot focus on the music if you cannot play those. So first, you have to be able to move your fingers and to be able to play fast, and then, yes, of course, the music is the most important thing at the end. But technique needs to come first. You cannot play music if you don't have the technique to play. So that's why I focus on this. So it is liberating. Once we reach the ability to play scales up and down freely, it is liberating, because now we can actually concentrate on the music and forget about it. So imagine, with 3 fingers, yesterday I was practicing this same thing, and I went from 150 to 170 BPM. That is incredibly fast. So 170 BPM, 6 doublets is 255 BPM, 16 notes. That is hyper speed, okay? And I know now that I can do that. Once I practice my 3-finger scales and I can go across the strings, I don't have to think about it. It is not mentally that challenging because my hands already got the practice to do it. It is going to be liberating because if I know I can play 155 BPM scales, it's like, okay, I don't care about speed anymore, right? Now let's focus on the music. That is why I'm focused on this right now. I want to free myself from all this worry that, oh, here comes a scale very fast. Oh, Paco Lucia, man, I cannot play at that speed. Well, with 3 fingers we can. Okay. I do not recommend this app for Apple users because you have to pay for it, which makes no sense. Actually, the creator of this app dropped a comment on that 200 BPM video that blew up, and he was like, oh, thank you for using the app, of course. And then I regret showing this app because I don't endorse this app because what they are doing is just bad business practice, in my opinion. It makes no sense. Why would you charge $10 for Apple users to use this and it's free for Android? It doesn't make any sense, but there you go. That's Apple for you. But as actually the creator of the app, it was their decision. So I told them, that doesn't make any sense. Why are you charging $10 for Apple? So yeah, I don't recommend it, but if you have Android, it is free unless you want to pay for the special sounds or whatever, which I would never pay for that. So it is called Another Flamenco app. But there are many apps like this. There are many metronome apps that you can download. So I would just try to find anything else. It works. Hey, how's it going? Sam Griffin Guitar. You have a huge YouTube channel, man. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you very much. Dude, hell yes. I've been blasting on this 3-finger picado stuff for a month now. I really think it is the way. Wow. Hey, Sam. Yeah, how's it going, man? Thank you very much. Yeah, definitely. So the thing is, it's a compromise. It's definitely a compromise. So I have been focusing on 2-finger scales only because they sound better. But the thing is, practicing with 3 fingers is also going to improve your 2-finger scales anyway. Because when we play with 2 fingers, we want to actually do this or this anyway. That's how our fingers move fast. We do these things naturally. So, for example, when I start a scale with 2 fingers, I'm gonna do this. See, that's this last 2 notes. This is this gesture. That's how I can start a scale fast. So rather than thinking on the scale like this, I'm thinking like this. So you can accentuate either the middle or the index and still do this. So for example, you can of course accentuate the middle, do this. Or the index will be like da 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 da. So that's how our hands move fast. So when we practice these 3-finger scales, we are going to for sure do this, or when we practice tremolo. So it's gonna improve your playing in any way. But I'm not going to, well, thank you very much. But I'm not going to use 3-finger scales unless I'm gonna play faster than 170, definitely. So to play less than 170 BPM, there's no reason to use 3 fingers unless you want to play a super long scale. I mean, you're gonna play like 100 notes plus in a row. Yeah, 3 fingers, you have the endurance. But I don't think we have to sacrifice the sound. We don't have to sacrifice this accent, especially if you want to accentuate every 2 notes. And if you want to get that sound, there's no reason to, if we're going below 170 BPM, to use 3 fingers. Because it doesn't matter how much we practice, it's not going to sound the same. It will not sound the same. But it's going to improve your 2-finger scales anyway. So yeah, I'm going to practice that for sure, but I might never use it. Because I mean, I'm going to try to be able to reliably play 200 BPM scales with 2 fingers. And faster than that, 3 fingers for sure. How's it going? Sombrero atornillado. Hey Ariel, have you checked Barcelona Guitar Trio? Of course. Yeah, Ali Arango. He's Cuban, like me, Ali Arango. I met him in Cuba. He's living in Barcelona. Yeah, he plays with 3-finger. But for example, Ali Arango is a very good example for this because he knows 2-finger sounds better. And he actually starts the scales with 2 fingers. And then he uses 3 fingers to prevent negative crossing. So for example, he might not like to have to do too many negative crossing in a row. And so he might start with the middle finger, do this, then do index, and then instead of doing the negative crossing, he might add the ring finger to, and then finish the scale with 3 fingers, something like that. So he starts the scale with 2 fingers. That's going to give you the sound and the illusion that, okay, this is how the scale is gonna sound. But actually you're gonna finish the scale with 3 fingers for the fluidity, for the ease. And so it's like, at the end, music is an illusion. Okay, so if I start to give you the idea, okay, it's gonna sound like, and then in the middle of the scale, I use 3 fingers, maybe you don't notice that. Of course, you can make 3 fingers look very good. We can see Caraí, the Brazilian guitarist, is absolutely incredible. We can see Caraí playing with 3 fingers, and it sounds so good that I don't even care. He's using 3 fingers. So yeah. So what's your 2-finger BPM limit? 210. I can do 210 BPM, but I need to be warmed up and all of that. And also I can do 210 BPM descending scales, but ascending right now I am at 190 BPM. 200, it's not reliable even when I'm warmed up. So why descending scales are faster for me? Because I am using economy rest strokes. I think this is the ultimate technique to alternate 2 fingers. Because yes, if you slide the fingers, you can play faster. We saw that with Rafael Cortez. Rafael Cortez is sliding the index finger, sometimes the middle finger too, and he can brutalize the guitar with that technique, and it sounds amazing. Okay? But alternating 2 fingers, I think the best technique for descending scales is these economy rest strokes, because it gives you a break so you can reset and keep the same speed. So for example, if you start a scale, you might notice that the first notes, this might be easier, right? But then how can you keep up that speed? Well, what I do is this. I start a scale, and then this middle finger is resting. Or if I start with the other finger, but in this case I'm starting with the index. So this finger is actually gonna do this. And you can clearly see that when playing 2 notes per string, for example. If you do a pentatonic scale, you can do this. So the middle finger is not moving at all. Look. So it's like this. Of course, you can move it a little bit. You can do this, and then move it a little bit. But the thing is, why would you move the finger if you have to move the hand? See, because if I move the finger and I don't move the hand, I would do this, and then I would end up with free strokes, right? So if I do this, this is free strokes already. So I have to move the hand to keep this, right? So if I have to do this anyway, why would I move the finger? So this finger can just do this, which is the same as this. Also, who is going to make a mistake when doing this? It's impossible. Even a beginner, day 1, can do this. No problem. There's no mistakes possible there. So it's gonna give you a lot of consistency on the scales too. So what I'm doing is that I'm doing either this for the string changes or middle finger. Now the challenge is when you are doing 3 notes per string, you have to be alternating that, and sometimes you do 2 notes per string. So in this scale, for example, we have 2 notes on the 3rd string, but the rest is 3 notes. right? So when I start a scale, the middle finger is there. So again, these last two notes, I'm doing this. Actually for everything, but especially for those last two notes. So it's like this. So the thing that you practice is this. As the first gesture. And then the next gesture would be right now I have the nails very short, so this is sounding bad like this. It's sounding bad because I'm not hitting it with a nail. I'm hitting it with a calister that I have. So it sounds bad. I would need to change the angle to be like this. But that's okay. The nails will grow back. So it's like this. So it starts like this. So that's how I can reach the fastest speed with two fingers. So when I am warm up, I can do 210 BPM already. So how is that crossing called again, where you finish on M and continue with M? Would you recommend that? So I'm not repeating the M. I'm not repeating it. So economy rest strokes with two fingers is the finger that will play the string change is going to be ready, resting on the string and with some tension, a note before it plays the string change. So when I do this, this finger is gonna stay there with some pressure. Like when you do this, you keep the pressure on the string. You don't do this, relax and then do this again. So you don't play like this in a discrete way. You play like this in a continuous way. So you keep the pressure. So, but I am alternating. I am not sliding 2 times in a row. I'm doing this. See, I'm playing with the middle. But for this index finger here, what it's doing is this. Basically, this index finger doesn't care that I have to do this. Or the middle finger. So this. You can practice like that too. So this is very easy. And it's gonna trivialize your 2 notes per string scale. The ascending scale. And then for ascending, I use what I call bumping rest strokes. So that's it. That's how I can play the fastest. So yeah, that's my fastest scales. Now when I do this technique, I don't really care which finger I start with because negative crossing is no longer a problem. So for example, Sombrero brought the Barcelona guitar trio with Ali Arango. He tries to avoid negative crossing, but if you use this technique, negative crossing is not a problem because you're doing this. That's not a problem. Now if you lift the finger, it is a problem. It is harder. So if you have the finger here and you do this, and then you have to go and do this, that's a problem. But if you keep the finger close to a string and on the string, it's not a problem at all. So yeah, that's what I recommend. But it doesn't matter really if I finish with index or middle. So the first thing that I recommended, this thing. This thing, to do it fast, that I do this. If I start with the other finger, let's say I'm gonna play this scale, and I will start with the middle finger. The last 2 notes, I'm gonna do this gesture. So I'm gonna either do this or this. If I'm gonna finish like this, and the first string crossing is gonna be with the index, I'm gonna do this. I'm sorry, with the middle finger start, and the first string crossing is gonna be with the index. So it will be like this. The thing is that guitar sounding terrible with no nails, right? I literally have no nail in the index. Well, that's the idea. Just so that's the idea. Now I practice that with index middle, index ring finger, index and ring finger. Now my fastest combination by far, and it's not even close, is index and ring finger. I can play with index ring finger way faster than with index and middle finger. So with index and ring finger, I can actually do 200 BPM ascending with not that much struggle. But again, I need to warm up. Like I'm cold right now. I'm starting today. So here's what I'm gonna share in this video. First, I'm gonna practice with 3 fingers. I'm gonna recommend you this simple pattern on the same string. And this pattern is also going to be useful to start practicing 4 notes per string scales. So 4 notes per string scales are alien for flamenco and classical guitarists. I have never seen anyone play 4 notes per string, but on the electric guitar world, it's actually normal. Because of course, the electric guitar has more frets, and it has a much better lower fret access. And when you are playing over here, the distance between the frets becomes smaller. So playing something like this makes a lot of sense. But now, even here, this works. This makes a lot of sense. Now, why would you try to practice with four notes per string? Because you can move diagonally on the guitar rather than having to use open strings or doing the Segovia, this kind of fingering where when you do this kind of shifts, that's gonna sound like, and it's gonna be super hard to keep this note legato. It's gonna be impossible to keep that note legato. So instead of doing something like this, for example, gee, there's a lot of shifts there if I do this fingering, which is the fingering Paco used. Okay, Paco did this. This kind of stuff. So instead of doing that, which you can try, that's how Paco did it. It works too. I can do it like this too, but I think it's easier. It's gonna work more reliably if we use 4 notes per string. So if we do something like this. See? So instead of having to shift, and then shift again, it's so many shifts. So if you instead do this. There's no shifts at all. So, and also when you have more notes on the same string, it makes it easier for the right hand too. So this pattern specifically, this kind of pattern, 1, 2, where the 2 and the 3 are together, and you have a separation between the 1 like this. If you play here, you play more frontal. If you play over here, maybe you can have a little bit more angle. Like if you play over here, maybe you have a little bit more angle, but at the end you do need to have some stretching. So I understand the left hand is a little bit challenging. With this, you wanna, you know, relax and not do that alone for too long. But the thing is, I think we should practice that. So to my point, with 3-finger scales, I'm gonna recommend you this pattern, where we're going to also at the same time work over the flamenco mix compass that they use for soleas, bulerias, alegrias, which is 6x8, 3x4. 6x8 plus 3x4. So we're gonna do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So when doing the 6x8, we're gonna do this. You see? So it's like 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So it's see? So the 6x8 is gonna be 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and the 3x4 is gonna be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So in that way, the speed of the fingers will not change from playing 2 notes, from playing with 2 fingers. The finger, for example, focus on this index finger. This index finger will keep playing at the same speed. Look. Same speed for the index. So if you can do 150 BPM with 2 fingers, you can, in theory, you can bump it up to 200 BPM without too much problems. Now, the way the hands work, it is not linear like that. So if I can move my fingers at 200 BPM, that doesn't mean I can do 200 BPM sextuplets. Okay, that is insane fast. Okay. I think 190 BPM is like 275 already. And the 170 BPM that I was practicing yesterday, that's 255 16 notes. So 170 BPM sextuplets is 255 BPM 16 notes. That's how fast the fingers are moving. So I was struggling yesterday with 170 BPM sextuplets, and I can do 170 BPM with 2 fingers very reliably. So it's not linear like that, but you should be able to get close. And I haven't practiced the 3-finger scales that much. So that is the power of the 3-finger scales. Hyper speed. Okay? So we have to keep that in mind. You have to bump up the speed of your 2 fingers, and then 3 fingers is gonna fly. So this is gonna be my main recommendation. Start practicing with 1 and 1 string. Now, how do we play? How do we move the fingers? Because I think the most important thing when we are trying to learn an exercise or teach an exercise, it's not what to do, it's how to do it. See, we can find on the internet many exercises, but what is lacking is, okay, how do I actually play that? Okay, how do I actually do it? Like, what's the technique? What is the movement? That is the important thing. Because if you just want to find what to do, you can learn something from Paco, for example. You can just play exactly what he played. Are you gonna be able to play like Paco? No. Of course, Paco was a virtuoso. So what is the maximum Paco speed? Well, think about this. Paco didn't play with 3 fingers. Only in one piece, La Barrosa, where he played free strokes. So the rest strokes is gonna be faster and more powerful. So Paco was able to play, based on what I have seen, 230 BPM. Now, how many notes? 111. There's a recording, actually. Let me show you this. If you didn't see the stream where I showed this recording. Paco has a recording of Entre Dos Aguas that not many people know, because most people have seen the Entre Dos Aguas video that's popular. That's not even close to how fast he can play that scale, because that was live. You know, he was nervous, maybe it was not his best day. So for live performances, of course, Paco is not going to tell the drummer, hey, just pump it up, you know, give me 230 BPM, because it's too much of a risk. It's too much of a risk, because the scales that he's playing on Entre Dos Aguas are huge. They are so long. But now I'm gonna show you an Entre Dos Aguas recording. Hopefully this doesn't get copyright, where he plays 111 notes at 230 BPM or close to it. Definitely more than 220 from what I've seen. So let me find this. It's a recording that is called Rare. It's called Alternative Version. So check this out. Entre Dos Aguas Alternative Version. So let me get my headphones. Get my headphones here. Check this out. Let's find the spot where he plays that. So this version starts with this weird instrument like this. See? It's kind of weird. So let me raise the volume of the... I'm gonna have this. You're gonna be blown away. If you've never seen this, this is Paco max out, okay? Paco in a recording studio. This is impossible. I mean, I cannot believe someone can do this thing with 2 fingers. So that's how the song starts. So let's find that super monstrous scale. Okay, here we go. Let's go. Look, I'm gonna have the metronome. Actually, let's find how fast was that. So I'm gonna set the metronome to 200 BPM. Oh, actually, let's do this. I'm gonna find the video that most people have seen, which is this video where Paco plays that like at 200 BPM, close to it. Let's find that video and let's compare the speed with this recording studio. It's not even close. I mean, you're gonna watch that video now and think, oh, that was actually slow. And so that video is the reason why those 2 videos, he has 2 videos where he plays that long scale that a lot of people have seen. Those 2 videos is like the reason most people know Paco can play super fast and super long scales. But that was not his best. That was not even close to his best. So let's compare the speed. So you see how fast Paco was able to play. So I'm gonna show the video here. Let me get myself out of the way. I have this in the background. Let's check this out. So this is the video most people have seen, okay? This is Entre Dos Aguas from 1976. This was a bad day for Paco, okay? Let's check out that scale. You see, man, it's just absolutely absurd how fast he can play that. Okay, unfortunately, the cameraman, for some reason, I mean, it's just pointing somewhere else. When he's playing the scale, look at the cameraman, just looking at his face. Come on, man, he's God playing the guitar. Please, just film his fingers. Okay, here it is. Let's compare the speed. Now, let's compare that with this. Again. Again, I mean, that's still amazing. That's my goal right there. Okay, this is my dream right here. But no, he goes beyond my wildest dreams. Paco goes beyond my wildest dreams. Look at this thing, it's just absolutely absurd. Like, I don't understand. So yeah, that's Paco right there. Yeah, it's just insane. Now, for someone who maybe have not been focusing on the metronome and all of that, maybe you hear that it's not, oh, it's pretty close, right? No, man, no. When you are getting close to the human limits, even a little bit faster, that's a huge improvement. That's huge. So that's a monumental breakthrough from one to the other. So yeah, that's Paco is just something else. So yeah, Paco is special, man. Paco is reference. Paco is like, you get the talent slider and you max it out, and then on top of that you're using cheats to go over 100%. Okay, that's Paco. So yeah, man, it's very inspiring. But how fast would Paco be able to play if he was using 3 fingers? Let's speculate that, because he never did that. Okay, he never did that. He never played 16 notes with 3 fingers apoyando scales very long like this. I'm gonna tell you the minimum. I'm gonna tell you my speculation of how fast Paco de Lucia would be able to play with 3 finger scales apoyando. Bare minimum, I'm going to error in the low side, okay? And we're going to use ChatGPT for this, so you don't think my math is wrong. The math is very easy, actually. But let's just plug that into ChatGPT to do the conversion, okay? The conversion is very easy, but I'll just show this so you don't think there's a mistake with my analysis. Let's find the equivalent. So now, let me check this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna ask ChatGPT, okay, what is the equivalent? Because if you play 6 tuplets at 200, see, it's 200 BPM 6 tuplets. I'm gonna ask ChatGPT what is the equivalent of that in 16 notes. Okay, so we're gonna see. So 200 BPM, 6 tuplets. 16 notes. And let's see how fast that is. Now Paco could play over 200 BPM with 2 fingers. So I am being conservative on the speculation. He could do faster than that, but let's be conservative on that speculation. So playing 6 notes per beat. Let me show you this. Playing 6 notes per beat. 6 tuplets, that is 1,200 notes per minute, okay? 1,200 notes per minute. Look at the math here, just have to divide by 4, basically. So that is 300 BPM, 16 notes, okay? 300 BPM, 16 notes. Again, 300 BPM, 16 notes. That is how fast, bare minimum, like I am speculating in the low side. I'm saying there's no way Paco could not go beyond this. That's what I'm saying right now. If Paco played with 3 fingers apoyando scales, and he never did, okay, he was using 2 fingers, but based on how fast his 2 fingers were moving, if his fingers were able to get even close to that speed when playing with 3 fingers, he would play at 300 BPM. Have you ever seen anyone play at 300 BPM? So 210 BPM in that alternative recording. Okay. I thought it was faster, but 210 is pretty good. I mean, I have been able to touch 210 BPM. I've been able to play 210 BPM just doing this. But to go from this to play 111 notes on that Paco, on that entrosado scale is a huge jump. I mean, it's just not even on the same conversation, okay? So let's say he was able to play 210 BPM, 16 notes. Or let's say he just plays at 200 BPM, sextuplets. If you convert that to 16 notes, that is 300 BPM, 16 notes. So that's absolutely insane. Now, do we have any precedents of somebody getting even close to that, and somebody who could actually do that? Well, yes, absolutely, we do have. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you who could play faster than Paco if he wanted to. I'm gonna show you who actually did play faster than Paco many times. Let's check it out. Let me find the video first. Let's find who can play faster than Paco. And I don't think he's interested in that. Otherwise, he would do it all the time. Let me find that video. Okay, here it is. Let's find this. Let's check this out. I don't even need to tell you the name. You know him for his hands, okay?
So here's a short video about picado speed with 3 fingers using A minor, one direction. A, M, I, A, M, I, A, M,
So it's accentuating every 2 notes, accentuating every 4
I'm going
notes.
to play 16th first. So that's at 160 BPM. Oh, pardon me.
So he's basically playing 160 BPM, 16 notes with 3 fingers, a piece of cake. That's not even a warm up. That's for him is nothing.
Is that? Yes, it's 160. So now I'm going to play 6 tuplets, so 6 notes per beat.
Now he's going to play 6 tuplets, okay? That's 160 BPM, 6 tuplets. Now yesterday, I was able to reach 170 BPM, 6 tuplets. He's starting at 160 BPM, 6 tuplets, okay? That's a starting point for him, okay? And his hand looks easy, like this is like nothing, okay? So let's see how fast was that, okay? Let's see how fast was that ChatGPT. So how fast is 160 BPM, 6 tuplets on 16 notes? See how fast is that? That is 240 BPM. Okay, so Grisha here is playing 240 BPM. That is faster than Paco de Lucia, like nothing. Like this is just getting started. Okay, this is just a warm up. It's like piece of cake. Look at his fingers. This is like nothing for him. Look at this. Again, that's faster than Paco. That's faster than that video that we saw. Now the thing is, of course, he's playing in one string. He's accentuating every 3 notes, which is more natural for the 3-finger scales. And of course, you know, we have to practice, and he can do that across the strings. He has some videos where he's showing that in his channel. We can check it out too. So he can do that across the strings, but that's the challenge. The challenge is to be able to move that fast, but being able to accentuate, like he was showing at the beginning, accentuate every 2 notes or every 4 notes. Because naturally, we're gonna accentuate every 3 notes and we're gonna play 6 tuplets like that. But just talking about the speed, how fast can you play with 3 fingers? Well, there you go, 160. Now, how fast can he do that? He can go up to 190 BPM, and actually he could go faster, but I think he didn't try, just in case. I mean, to prevent an injury or something. He didn't want to try, but I'm sure he can do 200 no problem. He can do 206 doublets, but he tried 190 BPM. So he shows that here, 190 BPM, and he's going to play 6 doublets.
That tenses me up a little bit. So that you can see.
Shows the metronome there.
I can go beyond this. That tenses
Oh, no, that's what he did, so he doesn't try again.
See?
So, okay, so let's see how fast is that. How fast is 190 BPM, 6 doublets? Let's see how fast is that. That is 285 BPM, 16 notes. Have you ever seen anyone play at 285 BPM, 16 notes? That is absolutely insane. Paco, with 2 fingers, could not play like that. There's no way. Okay, it's not. I don't think it's humanly possible to play with 2 fingers at 285 BPM. Actually, we know that it is a lot easier to play with the pick, right? So let's check out Troy Grady, who is the absolute best, picking technique teacher in the entire planet, on the history of humanity. Like, nobody knows and understands better the picking technique than Troy Grady. Let's check out Troy Grady's maximum speed using the ultimate picking technique, like studying picking technique in a laboratory. Okay, let's see how fast you can go with your pick. Okay, we all know it doesn't matter how long you've been practicing the guitar with your fingers struggling. It doesn't matter. You start playing with a pick today, and in a week or less, probably the same day, you can move your pick at 200 BPM. Okay, so you can spend 20 years playing with your fingers, and in one day with a pick, you're gonna play faster. We all know that. Okay, I studied Troy Grady's 2-way pick slanting, and in 2 weeks, I was able to play faster than ever. Okay, I was able to play 200 BPM like no issue whatsoever. You can alternate the pick very easily. Actually, I have a video on the channel where I play with the pick. So let's check out Troy Grady. He starts at 170 BPM. This is like very slow for him. This is like very easy, right? No problem. So let's go up to 250 BPM. So he starts going up and up and up. So he's right here at 250 BPM. You might think. You might think, well, he's just playing in one string with a pick. That's not, you want to be able to play scales with that. Well, he's going to show you some scales.
Picking speeds like 2 faster speeds. This is sure the slack to hammering to throwing and so on.
Let me find where he plays the scales. He actually plays at that speed. Some scales. Or maybe by the end of the video, let's see.
performance, which relates to something you may have already noticed in these slow motion clips, and it's this. Look at the size of that motion. Conventional guitar wisdom has placed so much emphasis on trying to make small motions as a way of getting faster that it may come as a surprise to you that a picking motion can look this absolutely huge at a speed as fast as 270 beats per minute.
That's very important. So this thing about slow motions is like nonsense. You just have to find the best motions. Now let me see when he's playing the fastest. Okay, let's see. Probably here.
It's like, oh, there it is.
Let's see how fast it's doing.
And that was easy.
Goes
very fast right from the start, almost like playing a button mashing video game.
Let's listen to this advice. This is the most important thing. How to actually practice to be able to play faster. It's not by starting slow and eventually increasing the speed using the metronome. Okay, that doesn't work. I'm getting stuck here. I had to repeat the stream when I started because I had some issue with the intro.
Foremost is generating a motion that goes very fast right from the start, almost like playing a button mashing video game. And two, you want that motion to feel easier than you expect without having to push through burning muscle fatigue. And that was easy.
I don't know how
this is all coordination. The ones where you get it are the ones where it feels easy. The other ones are like, something's just fighting you. But when everybody quiets down and you just do the thing, it's like, oh, there it is. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, nothing. This type of sudden increase in efficiency can almost make breakthroughs feel like happy accidents, more so than hard-won victories. But that's actually...
He plays some scales. I don't remember where it was. But he played like full scales with that technique. So the thing is, he can do it. Like he can do 270.
Is that it's easier to...
Now we're talking about beyond that, 285. So my point here is, with 3 fingers, it is humanly possible to play faster than with the pick. Now there's someone, you might show someone who plays at 300 BPM. There's a guy that he has, John Taylor, that can play at 310 BPM, I think it is, or something like that. So yeah, there's always someone that's faster. But my point is, let's just say this: with 3 fingers, you can play as fast as with a pick. I mean, I think that's a conservative conclusion we can definitely make. So yeah, Grycia is next level. So basically, when you see Grycia playing fast, he's not even trying. Because he's playing with 2 fingers, right? So he could play faster with 3. So yeah, of course, it's not about playing the fastest. It's about making it sound the best. And 2 fingers sounds better. That's why he uses 2 fingers, probably, or it's maybe mentally easier to do string changes. So yeah. But I think it is very important to practice the 3-finger scales, and especially I think it is important to break the wall. See, because sometimes people, like me, for example, I was stuck 160, 170 BPM for a very long time, and I was like, man, my fingers don't move faster than that. And of course, I had to figure out the technique. If you watch Troy Grady's teachings, he tells you, you want to start trying to play fast from the beginning. Because being able to play faster is not about, getting more muscle. Some of that is going to happen for sure. There's some of that going on. There's no question about that. But this idea that, just practice slow, very slow with the metronome, and make sure that everything sounds absolutely perfect and you never make a mistake, and eventually one day you'll be able to play as fast as whoever is giving that advice. That is just absolute nonsense. It will never work. Okay, you're not gonna get faster by practicing like this. It's not gonna happen. You can spend 20 years, it will never happen. You will not get faster by just practicing slow and then increasing with a metronome. You want to find the motions that work fast. and that is almost impossible to articulate. You cannot find that by watching this video, by watching any video from Paco Lucia or Grisha or Troy Grady or whoever it is. You can get some ideas, like you see Paco playing, you see, okay, well, he has the wrist straight. Let me try that. And you see Grisha, well, Grisha doesn't have the wrist straight. He can also play as fast, so does that even matter? You might see someone playing in this position. You may think, well, it's the position is the key, so let me try that. And it's not that, okay? That's another thing. People ask me, why don't you try the flamenco positions? Most flamenco players can play faster, right? So it makes sense to use that position, right? Would that give you a better, faster scale? I don't think so. You can actually play at this, so the speed is not a matter of the posture that you have. Grisha can play as fast, doesn't matter what posture he uses. Now, with the posture, you can get more comfort, and if you are more comfortable, you can stay more relaxed. You don't have to get some of your muscles tense unnecessarily, and you can get that reliability, but it's not going to affect you playing a very fast scale that's less than 1 second, because it doesn't matter how tense you are. Just for that moment, you can just do it, regardless of the posture. So I think this video is a great example. Let me show you this. Video. If you've never seen this guitarist, I shared a short of Gypsy Heredia the other day. I highly recommend you check him out. He doesn't have a lot of videos on his channel, but he has talent also that's off the chart. Now he has a video where he proves a very, very good point, in my opinion. So let's check this out. And this is to my point of position is not what's going to allow you to play faster or anything like that. It's just a matter of comfort, so you can play for a longer time and all that. Look at how he is going to play, what he's going to play right now. And this goes to classical guitarist advice. When practicing tremolo or arpeggios or this or that, you have to make sure that your shoulder is this way, then this angle here, and all of that. At the end, the tremolo sounds like crap, okay? Or it's like nothing special. Okay, well, look how he's playing the tremolo right now, and look how it sounds. Let's check this out. So keep that in mind. So when you see someone like, oh no, to play fast like Paco, or to play the tremolo as good as David Russell or this, you need to have the perfect position and this and that. Look, it doesn't matter, bro. Position is for comfort, okay? The posture, you have to ask yourself, am I comfortable? Can I play for a long time? Or do I have pain on my back or something like that? But when it comes to moving the fingers, don't think that I would be able to play faster if I do this or I'm in a different position. It doesn't matter, okay? Okay. So yeah, probably because the anchor point of his right hand forearm is no different from the sitting position. Well, that's a good point, but how is he moving across the strings? I mean, he's definitely, trying to, he's holding the guitar somehow, but it's very hard, of course. What he's doing is nuts. So that takes a lot of struggle, Left hand is definitely struggling. I mean, there's no question about that. He cannot play like that for 3 hours and give a concert like that. I don't think so. I don't believe so. But can he play for 1 minute and 45 seconds and absolutely melt everyone's face? Yes, he can do that. So I think that proves a very, very important point. So yeah, that's that's where we are. So I think it's also very important to learn, man. See, I think there's a lot of ego out there, especially among classical guitarists, and they refuse to learn from others because they think they're better or something. That is so stupid. I mean, it doesn't matter if I'm better than anyone. I don't care. If I can learn, you can learn for absolutely everybody, absolutely, and you should, because there's a lot of talent out there. So that's what I try to do. I try to learn by my own personal experience and try to get some ideas, try to get some clues from other guitarists. At the end, it doesn't matter how many videos you watch, at the end, ultimately, you will only learn by your personal experience, okay? Because we're talking about feelings. Motion is all about feelings. There's no way I can explain you emotion. There's no way I can articulate exactly what the motion is. And even if I knew scientifically how to articulate and tell you we are using ulnar deviation and the flexor and the extensor in this way, and I'm playing with 10% of this joint and 40% of this joint and 60%, even if I was able to articulate exactly what the motion was, you would not be able to understand it and apply that perfectly. So I think, in my opinion, everyone, absolutely everybody, is self-taught, because nobody can teach you motions and nobody can teach you music either. Music comes from within. We know what sounds good and what doesn't, and nobody has to teach you that. But it is very important to try to get some ideas, try to get some clues. And the purpose of this video, or anything that I've done, is to try to share my personal experience, to give you some ideas, some things to try, let's say. And when you try those things, you might arrive to the same conclusion that I did, or similar or different, but it might help you. That's what we're doing here. So you have to understand that it's why it's so difficult to teach guitar and to learn. It's the same difficulty. Now, I highly recommend you, when you learn something, try to teach that. One of the main reasons why I like what I'm doing here on this channel is because it helps me. When I have to try to reverse engineer, because that's what I'm doing, it never happens that I intellectually understand and then I figure it out. It's the other way. I see things happening and then I try to reverse engineer that to understand it intellectually so I can teach that. And there is a benefit when you do that. intellectually under. I highly recommend it. I just opened the stream to see how it was going. So I highly recommend you to try to do that. Try to understand your own playing and try to teach it, because it's gonna help you be better. So yeah, Carai also has perfect 3-finger picados. Yeah, Carai is one of the best 3-finger scales that I've seen. And his music is next level. It's not like he plays fast and he can sing too. Carai is next level. Yeah, let's check out some Carai videos. Check out one Carai video here. Carai actually reacted to. He dropped a comment on the video that I did about him, which is he's great, and he's like very friendly. Like, oh, see what he said. I mean, he dropped a. Let me find my channel. So he said on that video. Let me find it. Carai. So, Carai said, I pinned that comment. Buenas, amigo. Ariel, un abrazo grande do Brasil, hermano. Saludos, che. That's what he said. And then I asked him, what do you think about my observation? And he was like, I don't understand English well. I'm going to ask a friend to see if he can translate that for me. And then he said he was gonna listen and watch my video carefully. But yeah, I don't know what he thinks about my observation. But basically, what I was able to detect, one detail that I was able to detect from his playing was economy rest strokes. He's using economy rest strokes when playing with 3 fingers, which is crazy. That's like the ultimate easiest way to play fast scales. He's doing this. So he's doing this. And the thing is, he doesn't do that when he's showing that. So he might not be aware that that's what he's doing. And how do I know that? Well, because if I go and watch his video on Buscadores Flamenco, I'm not playing the guitar. I wanted to practice a little bit. I'm so cold. So I might just share some stuff and then end the stream so I can practice. Because if I keep doing this, I'm not practicing today. But I'm going to share some stuff before. So let's find, there's a video from Carai here, where Carai is teaching his 3-finger scales slowly, right? So let's check out how Carai is teaching these scales and how he's actually playing, because he might not be aware of what he's doing, and that is very common, by the way. Many great talented players, they don't know exactly how is that they are able to do what they do. Why? Because it's all subconscious. There's no understanding unless you really try. No, I'm trying. I'm trying, man. I'm trying to improve. So right now, what I'm doing is I was like 5 years not practicing regularly because I was busy, trying to earn a living. Finally I'm stable and everything is going good. So now I'm practicing again, and I want to see if I go to some competition next year. So I think my only real my only strategy to have a chance to win a competition is to go to the. So when I go to the competition,
E agora eu gostaria de
I'm thinking, if I drop an intimidation riff in my warm-up, some people might get scared and concerned, and then I might win. So they might play very bad because they were like, oh, what was that guy doing, So imagine going to a competition and dropping a 230 BPM scale, dropping like 500 notes in a row, something like that. It would be like, holy crap. like a sound check, you know. So I think that might be a good strategy. That's why I'm practicing so hard. But when I actually play the pieces, these super fast scales are not there. Definitely not that long. So yeah, let's check this out from Karai. When he plays slow, let's check out his hand when he's demonstrating this slow. Look at the ring finger. He's lifting the ring finger. When he plays the index, he's lifting the ring finger. Now, he's definitely doing that when playing ascending scales, okay? But now let's check out this video that I analyzed from Karai, where he's doing economy rest strokes. Actually, on my own video. Let's find where he does that. Look at it here. See where I got him. Trying to find where is that okay, here it is. Now here, so I was trying to wait for the part where he actually does that. Let's see. Okay, let me listen to it because maybe that's what's going on. But that is the important part. Okay, at this point I already got that part. Okay, here it is. Should be here. So this is what he didn't show. Things I cannot hear. Okay, here we go. Here it comes. Oh man, it's lagging here. Oh, because it's 4. See that ring finger? So when he does the long one. Let me drop the resolution. Are we going with the ascending? Now he's gonna do the fast descending scale. Come on, let's go. Here we go. After this, here we go. Here it comes. Focus on that ring finger. Boom. Look at the ring finger now when he's descending. Boom, boom, boom. There you see that? See? He does. Look at finger. It again. Look at the ring finger. It's not moving. The ring finger. You see that? Not moving boom. At all. You see that? So what he did there was economy rest strokes. That's what I've been recommending, that I have discovered. He's doing this. See? Now when he's going ascending, he doesn't have to do that. I mean, you cannot do it anyway. And he can play as fast ascending and descending, but the thing is, when you take a break with the descending scale, you can go ascending. It's like every time you can do something easier, you do, and then that saves you energy and gives you more power for the rest of the things you're gonna play. So it's a very good technique. So he might be doing it, and he might not be aware that he's doing that sometimes. Is my point. So let's see what we got here. So why is it so easy to reach fast speeds with the pick versus the fingers? So because when we're playing with the pick, we are using this movement. This is the big movement coming from the bicep. That's why I recommended to use this motion to leverage this kind of motions when playing arpeggios and other things. So actually, we can leverage this motion when playing with 2 or 3 fingers. So for example, if we play with a pick, we do this, right? We can do this. Actually, let me show you a video where I was warm up with a pick, playing a 12-string guitar, and I'll show you this. See that it's very easy to play fast. Of course, I have to, I'll practice a little bit with a pick, but it's super easy in comparison. So I'm gonna show you. So in this video, I was speaking Spanish because I made this video for a Laud friend that he's from Cuba. So I was not intended to upload this video, but I was like, okay, whatever, I'll do it because I think it's good stuff. So this is Troy Grady's 2-way pick slanting technique. This is me playing a 12-string guitar.
Mira, papá, te voy a enseñar el tecnicón en la guitarra esta de 12 cuerdas para que veas que esto funciona en un lado.
Look at the
Mira.
motion.
Ve lo que estoy haciendo con la mano, como cambio el ángulo de la mano, mira.
It's two-way picks now.
¿Ves?
Very, very easy.
Primero tienes que aprender a hacer esto. Cuando vas abajo,
So, yeah, that's
descansas. Cuando vas arriba, la púa va para el
And
aire.
I explained there how it's done. So the reason why it's easier to reach the fast speed is that we are using the bigger muscles. Now, can we use? See, look at the motion here. Look at the motion here. This
Pues así
is
es
very
como tú
powerful.
tocas, mira. Haciendo este movimiento. Básicamente tienes la muñeca virada y haces así. Así es como tú tocas. ¿Ok? Eso funciona. Ahora tienes que aprender también esta, que es el opuesto. Puedes hacer el mismo movimiento, la misma rotación de la mano, pero cuando vas arriba, la púa descansa.
See, so the thing is, yeah, gypsies play like that, like Joshua Stefan. We can check out Joshua Stefan too in another video. So the thing is, when we use the big muscles, actually, let me get this out of the way, let me show you. I'm gonna show you how to leverage the big muscles to play with 2 fingers. This is something that I was trying today, yesterday, and today. So, this motion, we use that for strumming. We can do this. It's out of tune. We can do this for strumming. It's in tune, but it sounds kind of terrible. So, we can use this for strumming. We can use this motion for arpeggios. For example, we can do this. So when we play the down with the thumb, we can do this a little bit. It doesn't have to be big. Just a little bit is gonna help you. I'm so cold being talking too much and not playing the guitar. I don't have nail on the thumb, so it's not helping me. But you can leverage this. I have a video on the channel where I show that. So when I go down, I use this motion, and when I go up, I use this motion. Now you can use this motion also when playing with 2 fingers. For example, I recommend you try index and ring finger and do this. See that the fingers are almost not moving. And actually these are my fastest scales when I do this. With 2 fingers, this is the fastest I can do when leveraging this motion. Vicente Amigo moves the wrist like this to play 2 finger scales. So why is this faster and easier? Because you are using the bicep. And the big muscle is stronger and it doesn't need that much warm-up. So you're helping the fingers with the big muscle movement. Now you can do the same and playing with 3 fingers. But I need to practice to leverage that. So I need to practice to be able to leverage that. Savicas used to do a similar thing, but it's not exactly this. I'm trying to figure out what is Savica doing actually. I'll make a video about it. Savica is definitely using some of this, but not specifically this motion that I'm doing, but he's moving somehow, he's moving the hand. So when you look at all these players, pay attention to also to other movements that are not the fingers moving. Also Kema Baliardo also has some kind of movement. And again, my fastest scales are with the index ring finger because I am doing some of this. And I have more power and more speed because of that. So you have to also find power outside the fingers only, okay? That's very important. So yeah, that's why the pick is faster, because you're using the big muscles. That's the answer. You're not using the fingers, you're doing this. You're either doing this or doing this. These kind of motions are faster. Actually, you can try this. Try doing strumming, try this. And then try to match that with your 2 finger scale. So do. that's throwing me off. I got cold. But see, I got cold, my fingers are not moving now. But my bicep is moving. Now I have no thumb, no nail on the thumb. That's why I'm struggling with, especially on the inside. I broke it, still growing. It's not working. The thing is, I don't have the nail to go up. You see, it's easier to do this than to do this. So that's why you can play faster with a pick. This kind of motions are faster and easier. But with 3 fingers, think about this. If I leverage this motion, which is using the big muscle, and on top of that I use 3 fingers, that's gonna be faster because every time I do up and down with the pick, I'm playing 2 notes. But if I do this same thing, I'm playing 3 notes. So that's in theory, of course. The things don't work like that intellectually, so we have to actually try it. So now, before I end the live stream, because I don't think I'm practicing at all. I'm so cold now, and I don't think it works trying to do the live stream and improve on the guitar at the same time. And I don't think that's interesting either, because if I start playing, 1,000 repeated notes, that's very boring. Nobody wants to listen to that. And that's what you have to do. That's what it takes. But I thought it would be good to practice live, so you see what I'm doing to improve. But it's boring, so I much rather have a conversation with it. So that's the challenge of the live stream. But here's the thing. This is what I wanted to share at the beginning of this live stream. We've been already going for a while now. Here's the important conclusion. Okay, first of all, I haven't decided yet, even with all the evidence we have with Grisha playing at 285 BPM 16 notes with this motion, but I'm still going to question what is faster, this or this, because when playing arpeggios, for me, this is faster. If I try this, I can play faster and more natural than this. This takes some warm-up for me. But this is faster, more natural, more even. So why would I do the 3-finger scales, ring, middle, index? I'm gonna question that, and I'm gonna practice index, middle, ring finger, and I'm gonna decide which one is gonna be the best. Not only that, when I am leveraging this motion, when I do this is gonna be more beneficial to leverage this power, because when I do index, middle, ring finger this way, I'm gonna be able to do it better like this than if I do ring, middle, index. It can be done too, but I think it's better, more natural like this. So I'm gonna practice both. So that is the first thing. I'm gonna question that. I'm gonna practice both and see which one is the best. The other thing is, to practice with 3 fingers, I'm gonna use the same rest strokes technique that I discovered by my personal experience. Then I realized that's what everyone is doing. The people who play very well, rest strokes. And that is, you need to rest the finger on the string and wait until the next finger starts playing before you think about releasing anything. And Karai, I noticed, he plays ring, middle finger, they are both on the string, and he only releases these 2 fingers when he plays with the index. So he's doing this, but of course when you go faster, maybe that middle finger is gonna release a little bit earlier. So you don't have to think about it too much, but definitely you don't want to hurry, you don't want to do this. This doesn't work. Look, let me tell you, this doesn't work. This from the air So it's like your hand is in the air and then the fingers are landing like this. This doesn't work. You have to keep the finger resting and let that finger help you. If you need to do a string change, for example, I have to warm up. See this finger resting here, you need to let it help you to go to the next string. See? See? This finger resting is what I call bumping rest strokes. So you need to be able to feel the finger resting on that string where you're resting. That is so important. So you want to get this feeling of stability due to the fingers resting on the string. Now you want to practice first the natural thing, which is doing triplets like this. Starting with the ring finger, starting with the middle. So when you do this, for example, I'm doing middle index here, and then starting with the middle. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So you want to start with the index, and then you're going to start with the ring finger, for example this. I'm doing ring middle finger. So ring middle finger. So that's a good starting point. Now the other thing is we want to practice accentuated every 2 notes and accentuated every 4 notes, like Richa showed on that video. And that is the most important thing, because the challenge of playing with 3 fingers is to make them sound, to get those accents that are even. Okay, so that's the most important thing you want to practice. So it would be something like, for example, so you want to go for it to find the motion, but you want to make sure you keep the finger resting. Now the other thing is you want to make sure to don't restrict the motion of the fingers unnecessarily. Let the fingers move, relax. Now how can you get the fingers close to the strings without having to restrict the motion? So let's say I have the fingers very far away. I have them here, and I do this. I can close the gap by getting the fingers closer to the string without having to restrict the motion. What you don't want to do is this. You have the hand here and then you're trying to restrict the motion for no reason. So if you want to let the finger move naturally, and then you calibrate the distance by changing your position, your angle and all of that. But don't intentionally make a motion short thinking that that's gonna let you play faster. Because as we saw with the Troy Grady video, he said, look, 270 BPM, the motion is this big. Okay? So it is a myth that to play fast, you need to have a short motion. That doesn't make any sense. All you need is to find a motion that works. And for that, you need to listen to your feedback, to your feelings, and try to find something that feels easy, that feels powerful, it feels consistent. And for that, I think it is very important to rest the fingers, on the string. Okay? Now, what I wanted to share is, okay, after you practice on a single string, you get bored of doing that. I recommend you to practice chromatic scales. You can even do this kind of stuff. Okay. Have you ever tried that? Basically, you're gonna move your hand smoothly like this. Instead of doing this, instead of doing that, you're gonna try to find, it's like calibrate the speed. See, it was not calibrated there, so I have to repeat it multiple times. I have to find the sweet spot in the speed here, because it changes. The frets are bigger here, it's shorter here. So you can practice kind of chromatic scales and all that. After you get bored of that, to play just scale, diatonic scales up and down, here's what I'm gonna recommend. This is the ultimate scale, the reason why I started this live stream, my main message, okay? The challenge, two things: get the sound and the accent. You have to practice on a single string, but now let's practice the string changes, okay? Easiest string changes to practice is 3 notes per string. I showed that already in the Karai video, check it out. You can practice this, which is similar, is basically what Karai was showing, right? So you can play 3 notes per string and do the Karai economy rest strokes. Practice that, starting with the ring finger, now starting with the middle finger. So look at this, this is weird. The middle finger is doing this, economy rest strokes. So I'm not gonna lift the middle finger, look. And now with the index. But to just go scales up and down, all the scale shapes that I've been sharing, the modes, going through the modes, I'm gonna show you this. I'm gonna start the scale with the ring finger, okay? These are the scale shapes that I already show. You will see how the important thing is the pattern to play descending and ascending is exactly the same if you do this amount of notes per string. Look, I'm gonna show you. So here we start a scale with the ring finger. So ring finger is doing economy for the first 3 strings. And now we have to jump with the index because we did ring, middle finger. So we're gonna jump with the index to the 4th string. And now we're gonna do economy rest strokes with the index here. Index, index, index. So the index is gonna do this. So the first three string changes is gonna be with the ring finger, and the other 3 are going to be with the index. It's gonna be this. So it's like this. Okay. Now when we go ascending, I'm gonna keep going. This scale is gonna have like 500 notes. Okay, I'm gonna show you like 500 notes in a row. So we're gonna do this. And then we're starting with the middle finger here. So for this one, we start with the middle finger. So the string changes are with the middle finger, middle, middle, and only on the 2nd string and the 1st string we're gonna do ring finger. Okay, so it's middle, 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 ring, and ring finger. And if you keep going, you're gonna do exactly the same if you jump to the next mode. Okay, the next scale shape. So it's gonna be like this. Look. See? So I started with the ring finger, and now this scale shape has 2 notes on the 2nd string, but the descending pattern is gonna be exactly the same. I started with the ring finger, and now I had to change to the index earlier, because instead of having 2 notes on the 3rd string like this one, it has 2 notes on the 2nd string. But we started with the ring finger, and now we change to the index, and we do index all the way up. See? So it's and down is exactly the same. See, so it's the same. So all the descending scales are the same, all the ascending scales are the same. So I'm going to play that. Before we do that, let me see what you got other comments. So I've tried leading with the index finger, 3-finger rest strokes with index, ring, middle. Very strange, maybe. Leading with the index, no, it's not strange. That's what I'm doing here with the descending sometimes. It's like a partial flamenco tremolo sequence. So you mean like just do this? Like you cannot repeat the index, so there's nothing wrong with that. You can start with the index, that's fine. There's nothing, you should practice that anyway. So I'm gonna do the whole thing. You see, it is exact. Notice that for the right hand, it is exactly the same pattern for descending and for ascending. The only difference is that in some of the scale shapes, we have 2 notes on the 3rd string. Some of the scale shapes, we have 2 notes on the 2nd string. But the pattern is gonna be the same. It's just when are you gonna make the change? But the change is the same. So I'll show you. And focus on the right hand. Now, how do we do the change? Don't do this like I did here. That's not the best. It's better to either do this. So index, index, and this. This is what I would recommend. Or I'm practicing the four notes per string, so I'm going to lose my thumb in the back, and I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna do this. But that's for practice. That doesn't work very well. I'm gonna try that, okay? But I recommend you again. Index, index, and this. It's still hard to synchronize. It takes some practice to get it fluid, but it's gonna work. It's gonna work. Let me practice it for a moment. You'll see that it's gonna work. It's the same pattern. That's the key. Ascending, exactly the same. The only change is the 2 notes on the 2nd string or the 3rd string, but it's the same thing. this angle. I mean, I don't know how you can see. You can see it the best maybe from here. Get closer maybe. Again, it's hard to synchronize, but hopefully after practicing for a while, the same pattern, I mean, I already got the ascending part, is the same. So this ascending part, I kind of have it. So the ascending is the one I have to synchronize. How's it going? Oakham, thank you very much. Yeah, let me practice it. See that I'll get it fluid. So my purpose of today's practice is to get this whole thing fluid, so I can start, you know, just getting some speed. Because if I have to think about, you know, which finger has to change and all of that, it's not gonna work fast at all. So I want to be able to play the whole thing like, you know, like this fast. So it would be insane. So just imagine to be able to like, that would be like the ultimate sound check. You go to sound check, you know, 1,000 notes in a minute. That's the goal, okay? I find that to be very entertaining. I think that's a great goal to have. Of course, ultimately, you want to have the freedom to just play scales up and down forever. That's why 3 fingers I think is great, because you can definitely reach 200 BPM with not too much problem. Okay, each finger moving at 150 BPM, that is so achievable. That is achievable for everyone. Why use a pick when you already got 5 picks? Because with a pick, you can leverage this motion. This kind of motions with the big muscles, they work very fast. The same way we can do strumming. This works very fast. So big muscles have a lot of power. So the pick up and down, it works very well. Not to mention you can do sweeping, it works very fast. But it doesn't sound as good. So a pick is not gonna sound better. You would never sound better with a pick than doing this. It's gonna sound like plastic in comparison. And also I think the fingers and the sound of your own fingers and nails is unique. Even if you use plastic nails, it's gonna sound different than your personal nails. I would recommend if you can keep your own nails, it will be better. But your finger is different, so you will have a unique sound. With a pick, you will also have a unique sound, but it's more. I can listen to a recording from David Russell, and I know it's him without even looking at him. Anyone, Paco, anyone. You know just by the sound of the fingers. So the quality is gonna be better. That's why playing with the fingers, it's better, especially for these nylon string guitars. So let's go. Let me practice this. We'll see how this starts to flow. Okay. Let me try to push it a little bit. I'm gonna stop doing the 4 notes per string, so I can focus more on. So it's not another layer of difficulty. I'll add that later. Let me know if you have any questions about this pattern. It's the same for the right hand. Are you interested in learning other flamenco techniques like pulgar or sabua? Yeah, I have practiced that. I have no nail now on the thumb. I've practiced this. It's not difficult. Al sabua works so well. It's such a good motion. I have never seen a guitarist that doesn't do the al sabua well. Some people do it better, of course. I'll show you one who has great al sabua. Of course, Paco. Paco has great everything, but let me show you a guitarist that has a good al sabua. I'll show you this. This guy has a great al sabua. See if we can hear this. You get some sound here, so I have the sound of. Wait. Oh, here it is. So let me show you this al sabua. This is Jose El Ciego. He has a great al sabua. Well, it's very good. two are great. This is Maya, Jeronimo Maya. He's a great composer. I like his compositions a lot. He's a great guitarist too, and he plays the Pago scale with the thumb actually. He plays that like 200 BPM scale with the thumb, like like this, like if it was a pick on his thumb. I have practiced that too, but I don't have a nail now to do it. I can do it with a nail, like two-way pick slanting with the thumb, but I don't have the nail now. But yeah, he does that, which is interesting. So yeah, I will, of course, I'm gonna practice all the flamenco techniques. I'm interested in mastering all the flamenco techniques, all the strumming. Actually, the reason why I broke my thumb was because I was practicing this strumming, which I have never been able to do well. The abanico, this. I was trying to practice this so hard, and I did pagada, and I completely broke this nail, and it set me back like 5 months because it was so behind. Like I broke the nail from very far away back. So, and I'm not using acrylic nails, so I'm gonna wait for it. And in the meantime, I'm playing badly. The arpeggios are not working well. Nothing's working well because of that. So yeah, this strumming is like I've never been. The motion, it works so well. I mean, I can do the motion here very well. It's a very natural motion. It works very well. But I've never been able to get that thumb down without catching the nail, or you know, I've never found a way to do this. But yeah, I do this. Yeah, I do this too. But I want to be able to do this one. That's, I think, the most powerful strumming is this by far. It's the most powerful, the fastest, the best. So I want to be able to do that one. In the future, I'll do it for sure. So I'll practice a little bit these 3-finger scales, and then we'll leave it there. Once I need to go to the restroom, we'll leave it there. Let me know if you have any questions in the meantime. Let me know if you get this scale, if you're practicing right now. If you have any questions, so I can address that. So this is what I'm going to be practicing for 3-finger scales. Accentuating every 2 notes. let's see. Pago plays P up and down, P up, A down. Yeah, Paco does that one, yeah. This is abanico triple rasgueado. Yeah, Paco does that. He does that really. Paco doesn't have the... I think the only technique that I haven't seen Paco do exceptionally, like at the highest level, he does it, but he doesn't rely on it. He didn't like it. I think it was because of what happened to me, breaking the the nail. Say classical guitar or acoustic guitarists should study flamenco. Yeah, absolutely. Flamenco guitarists focus on playing the guitar as powerful and as fast as possible. That's gonna give you a great technique. So just by nature, the way, the things that they want to express on the guitar are gonna give you better technique. So classical guitarists are too concerned, too worried about good sound, and sometimes they play with good sound, but their fingers don't move at all. So you have to get the motion first. Then the good sound is not that difficult. Good sound is just the nail being polished and the angle of the attack. That's it. So you can learn your scale sounding like this. It doesn't matter. Then you just do this. That's it. That's your good sound. It's not a big deal. So yeah. Okay, let me start again. It's starting to get fluid. Lost count. See, I still have to think it too much, but it's gonna work. It takes me a full 30 minutes to warm up before I can play proper tremolo, picado. Been playing for 30 years. I have to warm up too. I'm still cold and I've been playing for a long time. I think that's normal. But the better the technique, you have to warm up less. Because the techniques that work very well for me, like this. Now the thing is, I don't have the nail now on my thumb to do what I do, which is like this. I don't have the nail to help me there. It's like no nail at all. See, this is no nail at all. So I have to intentionally find some nail there. Otherwise, this works very easy for me, and I don't need warm up to do this. These economy rest strokes I can do this speed almost with no warm up. This at this speed is working well, but of course I need warm up for my best. Absolutely. You see what I'm showing, like the fingering on the right hand is the same, even when it looks like I am playing freely across the strings and it's like never ending scales. It's actually the same fingering. That is the key of this. So always when I'm going descending, I'm doing ring finger, and then at some point I have to change to index, depending on if I have two notes on the second string or the third string. So I start with ring finger, I'm gonna do this with a ring finger. So it's this. See, ring finger is not moving. And then index. Then I'm gonna do it with the index. So it's like this. And then for the ascending, it's always starting with the middle, and then ring finger, ring finger. Or if I have two notes on the second string, it will be middle finger all the way. It will only be ring finger on the last one. And the key is, instead of repeating the same shape, because if you repeat the same shape, you're gonna have to change the pattern. You move to the next one and you keep the same pattern. Why? Well, because when we move, we are doing, let's see, 6 notes, I think. Let's see, how many notes? So you do this. Yeah, 6 notes. So because we're doing 6 notes, it allows you to repeat the pattern because we're playing with 3 fingers. That's the key. Do you recommend staccato study? Yeah, Carai does that a lot. Carai does that. Carai practice a lot with the 3 fingers. He does that. That's a good practice. And it's a good practice. The reason is, when you play a staccato at a slower speed, your fingers are actually getting ready faster, but you have time to think. So in this process that I am right now, which is basically getting the synchronization, so I can move my fingers, I can play the whole thing like this. Before I can do that, I have to synchronize it, right? So because I have to synchronize, my fingers are not moving fast, so they are still going to stay cold. So a way to get my fingers moving faster with more tension, with more sound, and still being able to synchronize and play slow is by playing with a staccato. That's why Carai loves to, you see that even when he's actually playing the music, it's like he's doing this kind of stuff because he practices that a lot, the staccato. So I think it is a great practice to do, like play like this. Because by doing that, I have the tension and the fingers are actually getting ready faster than what I can synchronize right now. So the reason why Carai can do that even at very high speeds is because he could play even faster than what he does. So if you can do 200 BPM staccato that means you can play faster than 200 BPM, way faster. So that's also the power of 3 fingers. It will be a lot harder to do that with 2 fingers, for sure. The video you made about arpeggios technique is a game changer. The idea that the right hand works as one instead of trying to make each finger independent makes everything better. And it works for scales too. That's how, so our hands, even when doing 2 finger scales, you do this or this. Like this. See, when I do this, I'm doing ta-tan, ta-tan, this. So it's not this independently. That's why some people might see me play the scale fast and they might be like, wow, he has a lot more speed than me. No, it's because you're doing this. I'm not doing this, I'm doing this. I'm moving my fingers fast because I'm doing this or this. That's why I can do the arpeggio fast. In the classical guitar school, many of them, they teach you to intentionally try to avoid doing this. And that's how the hand works. So if you try to do this independently, it's not gonna work fast. Yeah. I'm glad it's working for you, man. Are you from Brazil? A lot of Brazilian on the channel. I'll practice a little bit of staccato. Yeah, 2 finger too. Staccato for everything, yeah. Now the thing is, when you play 2 finger staccato, if you want to do economy rest strokes, you have to do staccato with the left hand. So when you do this, because the middle finger is here, the middle finger has to be resting. You have to do the staccato with the left hand. So it's, because this middle finger is here, you don't want to do this, because if you do this, you're not going to be able to do economic rest strokes. So you have to do this. You see what I'm saying? When I have this finger here, I cannot do a staccato, because to do a staccato I would need to bring it, and I don't want to bring it because I want to have it ready. So the staccato is the left hand. So this ring finger, so instead of doing this, you don't want to play scales like this. It's all the resonance. You want to clear the resonance by having the fingers like this. That's one of the challenges of playing scales with a bar. If you do this, you don't want to keep this sounding like this. The scales should clear the resonance, so you would have to do. And now the thing is, how do you do that with this finger? You have to remove the bar. If you keep the bar, you're gonna keep this note sounding, and that's not good for scale. So you have, see, so that's the thing with staccato and the left hand. Gotta get a lesson from you. I can do all sorts of super fast stuff with the pick, but not with my fingers, and it is frustrating. Yeah, the thing with the lessons, you see that I have not promoted lessons on the channel, because a lot of people have reached out to me for lessons, but if I do that, I cannot practice, and I want to go next year to the competitions. So right now I would not say no to a lesson that I cannot say no, because they're paying me a lot of money, basically. So if you really want the lessons and you're gonna pay me a lot that I cannot say no to that, then you can send me an email, because I cannot afford to say no. Otherwise, I need the time to practice. So this is for the community. What I'm doing right now is the best I can do, because in this way, if you have any questions or anything, I can reply to you. I can help you. So that's the best. And if you join the membership, I would dedicate time to finger even like something you have you're working on or something. So if I need to spend time on it, it needs to be worth it. So I'll drop my email here. So it's Aerial Guitar Classes @gmail.com. And I'm trying these live streams to see if it works for me to practice, but it's hard to practice and answer the question, but I like it. How do you do it so fast? Oh, this is, like, I'm cold because I'm trying to synchronize this thing and I cannot run it fast, but we can play very fast with 3 fingers. I'll probably a little bit staccato. Ascending with a little bit more practice, because I was practicing economy rest strokes for descending and then ascending with bumping rest strokes with 3 fingers. So I have some practice with ascending with this finger. Okay, let me go. It's gonna take me some practice to synchronize all of that. So this guitar that I'm playing right now is a Hanson N3. Hanson with Hanson, Hanson N3. It was a gift. I like it a lot because this guitar has a lot of tension on the strings. If you remember, when I dropped the tuning of the guitar, like almost, below D, so it's like a tone and a half or more. It still had more tension than my previous Cordova C7, a lot more tension. So I like it, it has a lot of tension on the strings, and I can smash the strings even here, and I still have tension even here. Even here. So I can smash it basically. Yeah, I'm doing A, M, I on every single string, and the key of this pattern is that it's always the same ascending and descending. That's why I'm doing it this way, because if you keep playing on the same scale shape, you have to change the pattern. But if you jump to the next one, you don't, because you're doing 6 notes in a single string. So when you do 6 notes in a single string, you start with the ring finger, you're gonna do the string change with the same ring finger. So that is why I'm doing it this way. So notice the right hand, I'll do it slow for you. So I'll start with the ring finger, I'm doing this. So ring finger is doing economy rest stroke. So ring finger is doing this. It's not even lifting. And now here I am changing to the index. So the index is now doing this. So it's, and of course that is going to fly. That's gonna be so fast because it's so easy to do. This is gonna be 240 BPM plus easily. So that's why I have to synchronize it. But once I have this synchronized and practice, this is gonna be the intimidation riff. It's gonna be insane. It's gonna be like a metal guitarist playing with a pick. And I like it, so I wanna do this. And of course I can change the key, it's very easy to change the keys, the same shapes. So I have to practice this a lot. You're gonna get bored of hearing me. So I'm gonna end the stream. Before I end the stream, let's try maximum speed. Let's see how fast we can do with 3 fingers in 1 string repeated notes. And that's the reason to make this That's what makes this worth it. I have to practice a lot to synchronize all these three fingers across the strings, but once I do, it's gonna fly. And here's why. Look, I'm going to play, let's try 200 BPM. Let's see how difficult is 200 BPM. Okay, this is with three fingers. That is pa 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 pa, 1 2 3 4 para 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 para. I'm gonna do 16 notes. Piece of cake. You know how much effort it cost me to do a scale at 200 BPM with two fingers? It's like next to impossible. It's like, it was like the ultimate thing to achieve. And with three fingers, that's a piece of cake. Let's try 210. This is 210. Okay, let's try 220. This is not working. Okay, here it is. 220. Man, it's not focused. Okay, there you go. Let's try 230. It doesn't want to go up. It's like stuck. 230 BPM. Let me make sure you can hear this. I'll increase the volume. Okay, this is 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. I'm kind of tense right now. I'll try 240. This is the maximum. This is as fast as this metronome is gonna go. 240 BPM, max out. Of course, I have to relax, you know, go slow and try again. And you see that it is possible. So can you imagine that 240 BPM scales? Not even Paco used to do that. So you can play as fast as Paco. We can all agree with three fingers, and it's not like, oh, max out. Again, I show you Grisha playing at 280. Oh, how fast was that? 285 BPM with three fingers. That is insane. Of course, he didn't have the metronome at 285. He tried 190 BPM 6 doublets, which is, let me see if I have the, where's my mouse? Oh, here it is. So 190 BPM 6 doublets is, let me see if I still have it over here. Yeah, so 190 BPM is 285. So 190 BPM 6 doublets, which is what Grisha was doing in that video, is 285 BPM 16 notes. That is faster than Troy Grady with a pick. That's absolutely brutal. And actually, he can play faster than that. He just didn't want to try 200, but I'm sure he can do 200. So that's why. I mean, you see how much work it's gonna take to synchronize all the string changes, even when I'm doing exactly the same string change on the right hand. But it's worth it, because once I have this synchronized, you know, it's gonna be face melting, bro. It's like sound check, and I want that. Of course, I want to be able to do that too, just in case I need to do a very fast scale. Let's say I'm like improvising face to face with a pick, with someone playing with a pick, like Paco did with Al Di Meola and all these guys. You're gonna play with the fingers at the same speed or faster, and you're gonna sound better. Why? Because you're gonna have your mic with your proper guitar, not like a guitar connector or anything. Your mic is gonna sound much better than any of these guitars connected. And with the fingers, you get a better sound too. So it's a win-win. Okay. So let's leave it there. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. Again, I'm not going to make a video now and try to show that I can play, I don't know, at 240, 255 BPM with 3 fingers in a single string, because that's not gonna do anything good for me. But once I am able to go across the strings, I'm definitely gonna show that, because it is going to be very important so people practice with 3 fingers. People are gonna be like, okay, wow, you can be faster than Paco with 3 fingers. That's a great idea. Let me practice that. Yeah, John McLaughlin fast just with fingers. No, John plays with a pick. He doesn't play with the fingers. He's a virtuoso. I like him a lot, but he's playing with a pick. I like him a lot more than Al Di Meola and the other one. I forgot his name. The other one sometimes play with Paco. But yeah, Paco sounds better. That's the thing. The fingers just sounds better. So let's leave it there, man. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the description of the video. I'll drop some of the links of some of the videos that I watch in this live stream. Let's see, where's the mouse? So yeah, I'll do more of this. I'm gonna keep this live stream public for everyone to see. I usually do these live streams private, but I think this is I want to share this information. So usually when I do a live stream and I'm practicing, I am messing up and making mistakes and all of that. I don't want to just leave that out there. But this one is okay. I mean, I was just sharing some good stuff from other channels and other content creators and some virtuosos. So I'll keep this one, and I want to share this message too. So thank you very much for all of you who stopped by. We even had at the beginning of the stream Sam Griffin. Thank you very much, Sam Griffin Guitar, for stopping by. He's a big YouTube channel on the guitar space. I've even seen ads of him, so he's at that level where he's on the ads. So yeah, thank you for stopping by, everyone here on the stream. Star Ho, Sombrero Atornillado, Skinny Bugo, Mercurios. These names are wild. Josue Esteban, Swat Haki, like a Japanese or Chinese. I don't know where you're from. We have Okan Tandogan, ZZZ. We have Saulo Reis, maybe from Brazil. Paul Quantum Blues. We had, yeah. So we're going back to Barrios Etude 3. I learned that one. At some point. That's a good one. Barrios, all the stuff is good. All Barrios stuff is good. You mean that I'm just as fast as John? No, with 3 fingers, yeah, man. With 3 fingers, you can play faster than with a pick, I believe. Unless you are, I mean, I've seen some pick players playing at 300 BPM. That's insane. But again, 200 BPM, 16 notes. If your fingers move that fast with three fingers, you can play at 300 BPM. So Paco, I believe Paco with 3 fingers, rest strokes, doing what I was doing, Paco should be able to play at 300 BPM, okay? And Grisha too, but he just didn't want to go to the next speed, so he stopped at 190, but he could play. He played at 190 BPM 6 doublets flawlessly. That means he can do 200 BPM. He maybe make a mistake, he gets a little bit tense or whatever. Who cares? You play at 300 BPM, I don't care how you do that. So yeah. So saludos to Brazil. You have Caraí, Jamandu. I'm gonna do a video about Jamandu for sure. Jamandu Costa is like next level. Brazil has so much talent. It's just insane. It's like, yeah, the competition in Brazil has to be very strong because there's so many great guitarists. So yeah, let's leave it there, man. Let me hear your thoughts and opinions. And if you have any questions, have a good one. I'll keep practicing today. I mean, I'm just getting started. I'm not even warmed up today. So practice as much as you can. Paco used to practice about 24 hours a day to play like that. So yeah, it's just what it takes. So let's leave it there. Have a good one. I also have the Temptation right there. I have the PC, so I might play a little bit today too. I might do a live stream for my tech channel too. I love Badem. I'll check that out. I'll check that. I don't know that one. Badem. Okay. I'll check him out. Thank you for letting me know. So yeah, have a good one.